As Evans Namako is the director of elections for the NPP, he makes that strong assertion that they had more votes in Dome-Kwabenya and Ablekuma North than the NDC. And you recall these two constituencies already, the NDC parliamentary candidates there have been declared as MPs elect. That's Faustina Elekpene Makurugu for Dome-Kwabenya, and then also Irabina Oben for Ablekuma North. And that the Electoral Commission says they don't recognize and going to do a recollection and redeclaration. Dr. Rashid Tanko Computer is Director of Elections, Deputy Director of Elections and IT for the NDCs. With us in the studio, thank you for joining us here on Ghana Tonight.
Very well. Very well.
You heard Evans Makoda. He says, as far as they know and their records, their candidates had more votes than your candidates who were declared as MPs elect in Dome-Kwabenya and Ablekuma North.
Let me say good evening to your cherished viewers and to you yourself, Alfred, and to the good people of Bimbila constituency. Clearly, my good friend was economical with the truth.
Why is that?
I mean, if you look at Dome-Kwabenya, I mean, it's very clear. It led with 3 polling stations, and they were leading over 2,000 votes. I don't know how they got it. They at Dome-Kwabenya, we are talking of just 3 polling stations. Now, the issue is very clear. When we went to IPAC today, I mean, I'm happy I say it's inconclusive. They don't have, and I'm happy he admitted, they don't have pink sheets for that.
For the 3 polling stations for Dome-Kwabenya?
Yes, they don't have
the 3 polling stations.
The 3 polling stations don't have. Interest we have. Our agents, the way we train our agents this year, the work we've put in getting agents, the credible, dedicated agents, they were able to pick the pink sheets from the polling stations. So we were able to get 2 out of the 3. The third one is not our making. The third one is the making of the presiding officer. We don't know what happened. The presiding officer didn't use the original pink sheet that was supposed to be used to fill the results. He rather used a specimen one, the one used for training.
I see.
At the polling station. And so instead of using the polling station pink sheet, they rather use a statement, a specimen.
That's the one they used to train.
To train this thing.
I see.
So that's what happened.
How did that happen? How did the specimen find itself on the D-Day?
Is a question we'll be looking at on the Friday. So clearly the commissioner said after that one, they're just going to reject it completely. And that's why we don't have it, and the other parties still don't have it. Because that one didn't have carbon copies. So that's why party agents didn't have that. So when they brought it for collation, they rejected C. So that means they are now zeroed out to the 2 pink sheets. So fortunately, we had the 2 pink sheets. So we're able to produce it. Physical ones.
I see. So out of the 3 outstanding polling station results,
yes,
the parties have resolved to reject 1.
Yes, to reject 1.
The returning officer for that polling station used a carbon,
a specimen training one.
That is not the original.
The original one.
Pink sheet.
Pink sheet.
But the one they used for training them.
For training them.
To fill
in the results.
So you've rejected that one?
That one is rejected.
So it's just left with 2?
Left with 2.
And you have the originals of this?
We have the original
what did the NPP
copies.
Present?
They don't have anything at all for the Dome-Kwabenya. They virtually don't have. So, that's why he admitted, Evan admitted.
So, but he makes the claim that they won. I mean,
that's why he's doing propaganda. I mean, you should expect that. Because already the 370 has been collated, and they know the results. We are leading them for over 2,000 votes. So if they add the 3, if they were to add it, we would have even beaten them more votes on that one. Clearly, that was how Elekpene was declared based on the 370 less the 3 polling stations, because she has won. But if the EC still think that they need those 3 polling stations to add up, now we've provided them the 2 pink sheets that we have from our side. They look at it. In fact, the 2 commissioners were there. They look at it. The director of electoral service, they all look at it. The NPP had no question about it because they saw it. It was
so then the original. If in the meeting they had no question, why is Emerson Marco saying that they got more votes than you?
That's what I'm saying. He's doing propaganda. He admitted that. And that's
he admitted in the meeting.
In the meeting they saw that they don't have pink sheets for the 2 areas that we are talking of, because the third one, clearly all of us knew that there was a problem with it. So on that one, they said they deferred that on Friday so that we'll take a position on that one. How do we deal with that? Okay. Because if you look at that third pink sheet, if you added the votes, the registered voters in that polling station to our opponent, the NPP, he will still not catch up with Elikling. Elikling will still win. So clearly on Friday, it's a walk in the park. The Elikling will be declared a winner for the Dome-Kwabenya. It is only the...
So Ablekuma North.
Yes.
We understand that in this closed-door meeting, the NPP presented scanned copies of 27 pink sheets of polling station results. And you had, 37 pink sheet polling, and you had 25 original pink sheets. Is that what happened?
No, you see, what happened is this. Ablekuma Ablekuma North had a challenge with 62 polling stations. 62 polling stations. Yes. At the last count, when they did the declaration, it was left with 62 because they had problems with the 62 areas. Yes. Now, on Saturday, what happened was that before Rabna, our candidate, could get to the place, the NPP and the Electoral Commission were doing some collation with some additional 25 from the 62 that were not collated previously. So we needed to find out where did they get a picture, because the returning officer said they didn't have pink sheets for the 62 areas. So where did they get this? Ostensibly, the NPP brought 25 pink sheets for them to collate. These pink sheets needed a confirmation from our side because that was our opponent bringing it. Right. So the EC couldn't have just taken our opponent one to go.
I remember that. That's what the returning officer said.
Yes, he cannot continue. So invariably, the issue has to do with the 62. Now today, when we went for the IPAC meeting and we got to Ablekuma North, we were talking about these issues. Then the NPP said they had scanned copies of them. We said, no. This game, we don't deal with scanned copies. We deal with the physical carbon copies. So if you scan something, you might have the carbon copies. Where did you scan it from? Now they are saying that they scanned it after scanning, and then people came and vandalized and took the originals and destroyed them. So they said, no, we're not going to accept it. Because with the era of technology where I can also sit with my laptop, I can design this pink sheet and put it in a soft copy and say this is a scanned copy from the original. When we talk about Dome-Kwabenya, we send them soft copy of the 3 areas that we had the pink sheets. They said no, they needed the hard one. So we had to quickly. The
Electoral Commission said they will not accept.
They will not accept that until they get the original. So we had to bring that one.
So you're expecting that the same principle will apply in the Ablekuma?
The same thing. That's what we told them, that the NPP. Yes, if you say you have scanned copies, can you come with the original ones? We are not going to deal with the scanned copies. We want the original ones. If you have the original ones, fair enough, we have no problem. We will use that one to authenticate whatever on it. Then we can move ahead. But to bring scanned copies, no. That one there, it doesn't make sense.
And so you asked for the original copies of the scanned copies.
That is it.
And the NPP couldn't produce.
They don't have. They say they don't have it. According to them,
it has been destroyed.
They were destroyed. And we say, that's your story. Your story that they have been destroyed, it cannot be authenticated here. Who can validate that kind of thing? And so we still have issue with even by the time we left the place, they sent me a document containing 37. I said, no, it's supposed to be 62, not 37. It means that 25 to that we had issues with, they theoretically would have added it. But we have challenge with that. We said Friday, we're not going to accept that. The issue is Ablekuma North still has challenge of 62 polling stations and not 37.
But do you have copies, your pink sheets of the 62 polling stations that are outstanding?
No, we don't have that too. Because of what happened on that day. We don't have it.
Destroyed.
They were destroyed, and the EC themselves don't have. And that's why the returning officer...
the EC doesn't have the 62
they
polling
don't
station.
have.
You also
we don't have. But these people are claiming that they have scanned
NPP says they have scanned
copies. They have scanned copies. We don't know where they are getting that one to. So we are not going to accept any scanned copy to display any results.
So the narrative or the explanation they give that they scanned it before they were destroyed is not one that you would accept.
No, at all. Because if we are all going to go, and I'm saying that, why we are saying we don't want to say we have it, in the sense that we did the collation. We have our pin sheets being sent to us via other network that we use on that day. Okay, but per the rule, the EC doesn't rely on those things. They rely on the physical soft carbon copies. Yes. Otherwise, we could flood the place with those things. We have it on our system. The results, we look at it, look at the presidential results of all those areas, the 62, because they came together. But we cannot use that one. So that's what we told our colleagues NPP. Don't bring this kind of story here. Scan copies. I mean, it's unheard of. We don't deal with scanned copies. We don't do electronic voting or electronic collation of results in Ghana. And where we rely on scanned materials and use it to declare results. We rely on physical. That's why our electoral system is manual. It's a manual process. You bring your physical data, we look at it. Today, when we brought the 2 pink sheets from the Dome-Kwabenya, in fact, the 2 commissioners plus the director of elections and his deputies, they were all using their reading glass to go through it to be sure that this is their document. The figures were authentic and they were checking it. All of it, even Evans himself came and looked at one and used his phone to take a snapshot of it. Just because we want to be sure that this is authentic coming from the EC. And they have no qualms with that. So how am I going to rely on your scanned copies? You sat in your office, design some things and put it there and say, these are, I think we should rely on. So that was
but now there's a challenge. The bigger issue here is that for the 62 polling station results for Ablekuma North, because of the violence that happened there, those pink sheets have been destroyed. You, NDC, don't have it. Electoral Commission doesn't have it. NPP has scanned copies you are not accepting.
They say they have scanned copies 37. That's why they are talking.
So what's going to be the way forward? How are you going to resolve this matter?
That's why we regroup on Friday. That's why it was inconclusive today. We said we'll come back on Friday. If we come back on Friday and they are able to come with the physical one for us to look at, because we are not going to take anything scanned, and the whole house agreed to that. Therefore, scan one, let's put it aside. Provided you can get the physical one, bring it. We will look at it. We will use our eagle eye to look at the documents that you are bringing. If they are authentic and they are the ones that genuine one coming from the EC, because the EC themselves don't have, and then we'll find a way out. But if we don't have it, there is always a precedent. If they don't have it, the 62, we can go for a rerun. There's always a precedent for that. You remember Akotia, Farjan had to go for a rerun for some few polling stations to make up a resource. Because when you take the 62 and put the voter population together, it can make a difference, huge difference. So EC can easily go and run an election for these 62 polling stations. And then a decision will be taken based on that. But we are not going to accept any scanting on
so the most probable option in terms of finding a solution to this situation in Ablekuma North is to have a rerun of the elections in the 62 affected polling stations.
Certainly, that's what
you're going to go with on Friday.
Yes, that is the only option left, because the EC, who are supposed to bring the original copies, don't have. They don't have anything. They agreed today in the meeting that they don't have it. And then we were magnanimous to also tell them that, look, we don't want to go that path of scanting, because the distraction affected ours too on the same day. Right. Okay, and so we also lost our pink sheets on that day. So now that our colleagues are saying they have scanned copies, we cannot go and rely on scanning to come and declare results on this thing. Otherwise, we might be setting a very dangerous precedent. In the era of technology, anybody can just sit down and design anything. There are software that can design these things. It's easy. I mean, how many minutes will it take to do those kind of things? Okay, so these are the things we want to avoid.
Right.
And then so when we get there, we'll let them understand this on Friday. And then these two constituencies, a decision will be taken on that day.
And in fact, let's say a bit further on this, because coming up next,